So whenever we talk about warm-up programs for combative programs, right, what we're wanting to do is to make sure that we take these shoulders through their full range of motion. It's important to understand that the muscles that make up our back around our shoulder blade, they are the ones that actually control and dictate where our elbow's at in space. So if I'm wanting to warm up the muscles that control the shoulder, that help protect the shoulder and keep it healthy, I need to make sure that I take the muscles that are on my low back, that are around my shoulder blade. I need to make sure that I take them through their full range of motion. This means that I shorten them as much as I can and also lengthen them as much as I can. We want them to become comfortable with going through that full range of motion. So the ways that we like to do that in the combatives program is we like to do the T's, the W's, and the I's, right? So let's start off with the T's first. There are two different ways that you'll see T's done depending on what combatives program that you go to. You'll either see this done with the palms facing down, the fingers like thumbs extended joint, or the way that we like to refer to it is a dynamite press, to where they'll lay down and they'll have their thumbs turned up as if they're holding a stick of dynamite, and they'll pick that up on the ground. Either way, this will look as such, to where we are down on the ground, nose in the dirt. We'll take and press our hands out to the T. And from here, we'll either take and raise our palms up off the ground, right? Fingers and thumb extended joint, elbows fully extended. We'll take and pick those palms up off the ground and back down. Or dynamite presses, to where we'll take and press our thumbs up and pick those thumbs up off the ground and back down. We're roughly accomplishing the same task either way, but we want to make sure that we've taken in the muscles that are in our back that are responsible for our shoulder health. On that plane of movement, we've taken and shortened them as much as we can. We're going to do the same thing going into the W's and into the I's. So whenever we talk about doing this in W or an I, we're going to go to the same position, and this time we're going to have our upper body form a W, right? And we're going to do the same thing of trying to pick our elbows and wrists up off the ground. Demonstration, down on the ground, nose in the dirt. I've made a W, palms are on the ground. I have my elbows just below my shoulders, and from here, I'm just picking up my whole arm up off the ground and back down. Once again, we can do this in dynamite, where we have our thumbs up, elbows are just below my shoulders, and picking them all the way up and back down. And then I's, of course, we're pushing our arms straight out in front of us. Elbows are fully extended with our arm directly out in front of us. And from here, we have our hand flat down on the ground, and we're going to try to pick our hands straight up off the ground and back down. Or dynamite. So we've done the same thing, and remember those 4 different muscles that make up our shoulder blade, and that we're really trying to hit all the planes of those muscles, so that way they start to realize what we're wanting them to do, and they start to loosen up, and they start to focus on preparing the body for these movements. So we want to hit all different planes. A lot of times you'll find people who have restrictions in one range. Once we know and identify that, it's easy for us to start the process of going through and helping them be able to work and repair that muscle, help it be able to loosen up. All right. So let's go. Now that we've taken and correction, there's one more round of shortening that we like to add to this. This is what we refer to as a golf club stretch. So we have a PVC pipe. You can use a wooden dowel. You can use whatever you need to do this, but we're going to take and hold it as if it's a golf club, flip it right over top of our shoulder. We're going to make sure that the pole, right? So we're holding it with our palm up in between our pointer finger and our thumb. We have the pole intersecting our bicep. We're going to reach underneath to grab it, and then we're going to start pulling forward, and this is our last plane of muscle that we're trying to shorten along our back. Right, so we're just trying to rotate that wrist back, not collapsing in trying to do this. I'm trying to keep my elbow high for our shoulder blade and helping that shoulder get good and loosened up, ready for the activity. We've made all the muscles that are responsible in the back. We've made sure that they've all shortened as much as we can as far as every plane of movement, taking and pulling that muscle back. The last one that we like to use here in order to get the full range of motion as far as all those muscles being able to shorten up, this is what we refer to as Rocket Man. And anybody who's done our programs know that we put this in there a lot. I'm a big fan of the Rocket Man exercise. So we're going to hop back down here and I'm going to demo this one for you. So in order to do the Rocket Man, we're going to be laying down, chest down. We're going to have our nose down on it. And from here, I'm going to take and put my pinkies right beside my hip. Palms are on the ground. This is the end point for the movement. Pinkies are right beside my hip, palms on the ground. Whenever I'm ready to begin this, I'm going to pick my palms up off the ground, and then I'm going to begin to rotate at the elbow, bringing my palms forward up until I'm in a W. Once I'm in the W, I'm going to press my palms straight ahead until I reach a Y. Whenever I'm in the Y, I'm going to bring my palms together, forming the I, and then I'm going to go back to the Y, to the W, and bring my pinkies back. So this is the last shortening movement that we use for our shoulders to help them get good and loosened up and ready for whatever exercise that we're going to be doing. This pulls straight from the Combatives program, and it's very beneficial in numerous areas of ensuring that tactical populations, their shoulders are good and healthy and able to do exactly what we want them to do. Every movement that we did up until this, we were taking and shortening those muscles that make up our back, right? All those muscles were shortening. They were contracting, pulling our elbow back in numerous different planes. As much as it's important that we go through the process of shortening those muscles and making sure that they have that full range of motion there, we also need to make sure that we lengthen those muscles. I place much more value in our training programs here. We place much more value on being able to shorten those muscles than what we do whenever we lengthen them. And the only reason that this exists is because it's very easy to actually, it's hard to cause permanent damage whenever you are shortening those muscles that make up your low back. It's actually pretty easy to cause damage whenever you're trying to stretch those muscles that make up your low back. So those are the two differences between it. For somebody who is novice, who's beginning, who's trying to care for their shoulders, if you are unfamiliar with the correct movements that you need to do in order to stretch and lengthen those muscles that make up your upper back, it's very easy to cause permanent damage there. But we're going to go ahead and go over a few of them so that way you know and have an understanding. I'm going to grab the roller here really quick. So while we have utilized we've utilized the pipe here in order to go through this exercise in the mats, I do strongly encourage the foam roller. Yes, there is no evidence that proves that foam rolling does any type of performance increase, but we do know that it goes a long way in helping your body be able to release the tension that exists in some of the muscles. And we're going to use it here for some of the exercises to help us gain that full range of motion to stretch those muscles out as far as we can. So the first one we're going to be doing is a kneeling wall roll, is what we refer to it as. So I'm going to be back on the mats. I'm going to take my foam roller. I'm going to place it here in front of me, and I'm going to have my knees are on the ground, and I'm sitting straight up. I'm going to be stacked with my shoulders, knees, hips on good alignment. I'm going to take two knife hands, palms facing each other, right? And I'm going to knife hand down upon this, and I'm going to pull my knees. I'm going to pull my elbows as close as I can back to my knees and try to tuck my stomach. This is my starting position for this movement. From here, I'm going to begin to roll out and let my face fall down in between the gap that I just created. Right? So this is me lengthening all those muscles. This is not about me being able to push my arms forward as far as I can, because those is what we just did in order to create some shoulder health in shortening those muscles. What I'm trying to do is to get my face down as far as I can, so that way that roll out in front of me is going a long way in helping those muscles loosen up. So I'm down, I pull them all the way in, my elbows are all the way by my knees, and then I begin to push out and let my face fall down through this gap. And back. All right, so this is one of the ways that we can utilize to help that one. The next one that we like to use is what we refer to as a standing airplane, or correction, as a back airplane stretch. To do the back airplane stretch, we're going to be down. We're going to take and press our palms together. From here, we're going to take and press either our left or right. So for this instance, we'll say our right palm, the back of our right hand. We're going to take and put it over by our left knee, right? So praying hands over by our left knee. We're pressing our hips all the way forward. I'm then going to pick my left hand up, and I'm going to begin to rotate it up as high as I can. So this has done two things. We have helped the action arm, the one that's actually reaching up. We've helped it be able to stretch and gain its range of motion, and the hands on my right hand that's had to reach all the way across. We've helped it be able to reach and open up just a little bit. So on both planes, we've created a little bit a good stretching, a good range of motion for you to be able to have inside of it, right? These are the primary exercises that we will use inside a Combatives program in order to ensure that this shoulder is good and healthy and everything's loosened up and it's ready to go. There are other exercises that we can do whenever we focus on the hip. And whenever we focus on being able to correctly cue and contract our stomach to be able to pull our ribs down in, there are exercises that we can do there as well. These are all very beneficial as you move into tactical populations at helping them be able to develop the skills necessary to ensure that they are able to survive in tactical, in highly stressful and intense situations. Yep. This completes our little block of instruction that we have today. I really hope that you all found this useful and helpful in some way. Once again, my name is Benjamin Morris. I'm a tactical strength and conditioning facilitator, fancy strength conditioning coach for military personnel, former Army drill sergeant, military master fitness trainer, master resilience instructor, and I was a prior Pacific Best Warrior winner, right, for a third of the planet. Baddest guy there. But that is all we have for today. I hope that you have found this helpful, and I thank you very much.